We have two huge SEC showdowns tonight. One in Tuscaloosa, the other in Oxford. The best conference in college basketball coming down to the wire. We're going to break it down here. Teddy covers with a big game breakdown, with a pair of big game breakdowns, a double gamer from WagerTalk.com. Before I get started, two things. Well, first I want to ask you to like, subscribe, comment. The likes make all the difference. That thumbs up. If you're not one of the nearly 200,000 people who've already subscribed to the YouTube channel, today's a great day to do that. And of course, the comments below make all the difference. Tell us what you think about the two games tonight. In addition, I want to give you a couple of specials. Sports7 is the promo code. Save $20 off an NBA 7-day pass. I'm writing an 80% run in the NBA here in March. Sport125 is going to save you $125 off an NBA season pass. And of course, every capper at WagerTalk.com has college hoops priced at $179 for the rest of the season. That includes every play, every day, in every tournament, as well as the rest of the regular season. No coupon code required. Let's start with the Florida Gators and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Number 5 versus number 7 in the polls. Ken Pom has Florida number 4, Bama number 6. And these are two teams. This is a meaningful game. They're both fighting for the number 1 seed in the big dance. The winner likely gets it. The loser is going to have some work to do next weekend in the SEC tournament. Right now, looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen for Alabama and Florida, I'm seeing the Crimson Tide minus 3.5 in most locations. Total in this ball game sitting 178/178.5. Bettors are expecting an up-tempo affair. It's a road finale for the Gators. It's a home finale for the Crimson Tide. And obviously, we're talking about two elite teams when we're talking about number 1 seeds in the Big Ten. That being said, Ken Pom, Florida 4, Bama 6. Current form says the gap might be a little bit bigger than that. This is the first meeting this season. The Gators went 3-0 against Bama, against the spread versus Bama last year, 2-1 straight up. The only loss came in overtime right here on this floor. The Gators coming off another home blowout. It was good for my clients and I last weekend when they beat Texas A&M by 19. And recent road games for the Gators. They won and covered at LSU minus 10. They won and covered at Mississippi State at plus 2.5. They won and covered at Auburn at plus 11. That being said, they did lose their last road game at Georgia minus 6.5. Wire-to-wire job in that contest. They didn't play their best ball, to put it mildly. Head coach Todd Golden, quote, "We're still shooting for a number 1 seed in the SEC tournament and the double bye. If we can get that done, I'd be really happy." One more quote from Coach Golden. "Transition defense is going to be huge in their building Wednesday night, trying to make them operate in the half court. And then they're very efficient, take rim shots and threes. Obviously, we're going to try to make them operate in the mid-range, try to make them take shots they're not comfortable with or strive to take." And Florida has a defense that could do that. Ken Pom called them the number 7 defense in the country. And certainly the Gators are capable of playing at Alabama's pace, but playing defensively. The junior center, Micah Hangloten, quote, "I don't think they're used to a team that can quite keep up with them offensively and play defense. And we can do that, if we're being honest. I think we match up well against them, and I think we'll go out there and it'll be a good game. On the road, it's more of an execution deal." The Gators certainly have been executing well of late, with the lone exception of that recent road loss at Georgia. Look, Bama went to the Final Four last year. Nate Oates has revitalized this program. They've been at the top of the standings all season this year, but they've come back to earth of late, just 2-3 straight up their last 5. They lost to Auburn. They lost at Missouri. They lost at Tennessee. That being said, in between 2 home games against Kentucky and Mississippi State, they won by a combined 51 points at minus 12 and minus 9. But both home losses this year have come by margin. They lost to Auburn. They lost to Ole Miss on this floor. Ken Pom calls Alabama number 3 offense, but number 36 defense. And we saw that defense come up short in the home loss to Auburn. I wouldn't be surprised that happens again tonight. I think the Gators are the better team. Sorry, Nate Oates. Sorry, Bama. Florida, a live dog for this better at plus 3.5 or higher on Wednesday night. Before we talk about Tennessee and Ole Miss, I want to give you those promo codes one more time. Sport125 will get you $125 off an NBA season pass. I'm riding an 80% NBA run here in March and up close to 200 units in the NBA since 2022. Sport 7 is going to get you $20 off an NBA 7-day pass. And of course, no promo code needed. Every play, every day for the rest of the college basketball season, just $179 at my page, www.buzz.com/TC, or for any of the cappers at WagerTalk.com. Let's talk about this showdown between Tennessee and Ole Miss. Right now, looking at that odds logic live odds screen, Tennessee minus 2.5 at most books, total sitting in the 138 range. And this has been a very one-sided series of late. Tennessee won 90-64 in the only meeting last year. They won 70-55 in the only meeting in 2023. 9-1 straight up the last 10 times these two teams have faced each other. That being said, Chris Beard's only been here for last year's meeting, and Beard's a difference maker at head coach. Tennessee's playing good ball. Look, they're number 5 in Ken Palm, they're number 4 in the coaches in the AP poll. They're an elite defensive team, number 1 defense in the country, according to Ken Palm. Which is something. And this is a team, again, they won everything in non-conference, and they started SEC play 4-4. The only loss since then, they won 7 of the last 8, was at Kentucky. What was that? Close to a month ago now, back on February 11th. And they've been beating good teams. They beat Florida by margin. They beat A&M by margin. They beat Bama this past weekend. Assistant coach Craig Polinsky, quote, "I think our guys have just found a way to win. They gutted out the win last time against LSU and Alabama last week." That was another quote. "We really gutted that one out." But that being said, just 1-4 against the spread their last 5, despite a 4-1 straight up record. They're not winning by big enough margins, including the win over Alabama this past weekend. The 40-footer at the buzzer to win by 3. They beat LSU by only 6. They beat A&M by only 8. They beat Vandy by only 5. They're struggling to win by margin. And they're 1-4 ATS. Their last 5 is road chalk. They failed to cover at Texas, Vandy, Kentucky, and LSU. The only winning cover came at Oklahoma, which is something of a concern here. Obviously, the money coming for the home dog Rebels. Ole Miss, look, the statistical profile does not match what we're seeing from the other side. Number 33 offense, number 23 defense, number 26 overall per Ken Palm. They're just 1-3 straight up the last 4, 0-4 against the spread. The only win came by 3 points against the Oklahoma team that Tennessee was able to blow out in Norman. And you want to talk about an anti-betting bandwagon? Rebels just 1-9-1 against the spread their last 11, 5-7 straight up the last 12. That's not exactly building a betting bandwagon. But Ole Miss does something well that matches up with Tennessee. What does Tennessee want to do? They want to wreak havoc with their defense. They want to force turnovers in bunches and create fast break opportunities. What does Ole Miss do? They don't turn the ball over. Less than 9 turnovers per game. The best team in the SEC at taking care of the ball. The best turnover margin in the conference. They force 5.6 more turnovers per game than they commit. This has been a defensive-minded squad, the Rebels, most of the season. And the last couple of games, they just gave up 106 to Auburn and then 84 to Oklahoma. Both games flying over the total, 171 points and 182 total points scored. Now, it's senior night at home. They're going to play defense. Tennessee's going to play defense. I think this game is going to be an underplay. And again, we're talking about 138. There are 138.5s out there right now. So it doesn't have to be a particularly low-scoring game. 65-60, sure, that'll work. But even if we get a bit more than that, 70-65 still cashes our ticket. I think this game stays under. So to summarize, Florida plus, Ole Miss / Tennessee under. That's the 2 plays that I like for tonight. Again, if you like this type of analysis, thumbs up. Thank you. Subscribe. Give us a comment. Tell me what you think about these games. And best of luck with all your bets on Wednesday night. Thank you so much for watching Wager Talk TV. Cheers.